If your garden has been struggling lately, if your tomatoes look tired and your flowers refuse to bloom no matter how much fertilizer you add, the problem might not be what you think. It might not be the seeds. It might not be the weather. It might be something invisible happening beneath your feet. Your soil might be dying, or it might already be dead. But here is the good news. You can bring it back to life. And you can do it with 3 simple liquids made from things you probably already have in your kitchen. No expensive products, no complicated chemistry, just ancient wisdom that gardeners have passed down for generations. Today, I want to show you exactly how to do it, step by step. And I promise, if you can make a cup of tea, you can do this. Welcome to Silenced Seeds. Before we dig in, if these old ways of gardening speak to you, the best way to keep this wisdom growing is simple. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share these seeds with someone whose garden could use a little help. Let us start by understanding what we are dealing with. Healthy soil is not just dirt, it is alive. Beneath every handful of good garden soil, billions of microorganisms are working around the clock. Bacteria break down organic matter. Fungi create networks that deliver nutrients to plant roots. Earthworms tunnel through the earth, creating pathways for air and water. This invisible workforce does the heavy lifting so your plants can thrive. But modern gardening has not been kind to these helpers. Years of tilling break up fungal networks. Chemical fertilizers create salt buildup that drives away earthworms. Pesticides kill beneficial bacteria along with the pests. Even well-meaning neglect, leaving soil bare and exposed to sun and rain, can cook the life right out of it. When the microbes disappear, everything changes. Water pools on the surface instead of soaking in. The ground becomes hard as concrete. Nutrients sit locked in the soil where roots cannot reach them. You add more fertilizer, but nothing improves. The plants look pale and weak no matter what you do. This is dead soil, and it is more common than you might think. So how do you know if your soil needs help? There are 3 simple tests you can do right now, and they do not require any special equipment. First, the shovel test. Walk out to your garden with a shovel. Push the blade into the ground using normal pressure. In healthy soil, the blade should slide in smoothly, almost easily. If the shovel bounces back, if you have to stomp on it to make progress, or if it feels like you are trying to dig through a parking lot, your soil is compacted. The life has been squeezed out. Second, the drainage test. Dig a hole about 1 foot deep and 1 foot wide. Fill it with water and let it drain completely. Then fill it again and watch. In healthy soil, the water should drain steadily over several hours. If it disappears in minutes, your soil cannot hold moisture. If it sits there all day like a bathtub, your soil is so compacted that water cannot move through it. Either extreme means trouble. Third, the life test. This one is my favorite. Dig up a shovelful of soil from about 6 inches down. Spread it out on a piece of cardboard or newspaper. Now count the earthworms. In healthy, living soil, you should find 3 to 5 earthworms in every scoop. If you find fewer, or none at all, your soil biology is depleted. The workforce has left the building. If any of these tests revealed problems, do not worry. This is fixable. You are going to fix it with 3 ancient liquids that cost almost nothing to make. The first liquid is rice wash. You have probably been pouring this down the drain your whole life without realizing what you were throwing away. Here is how to make it. Take 1 cup of uncooked rice, any variety works, and put it in a bowl. Add 2 cups of water and swish the rice around with your hand for about 30 seconds. The water will turn cloudy and white. That cloudiness is starch, and it is exactly what you want. Strain out the rice and save the liquid. Now pour that milky water into a jar, cover it loosely with a cloth or paper towel, and let it sit at room temperature for 2 to 3 days. You will know it is ready when it smells slightly sour, like yogurt. That smell tells you beneficial lactic acid bacteria have moved in. When it is ready, dilute it 1 part rice wash to 10 parts water. Pour this mixture directly onto your soil, especially in areas that feel compacted or lifeless. These bacteria are gentle but powerful. They soften hard soil over time, they suppress harmful pathogens, and they kickstart microbial activity that has been dormant. The second liquid is called fermented plant juice, and it is like a multivitamin for your garden. Look around your yard for fast-growing plants. Dandelions work beautifully. So do nettles, clover, or any vigorous weeds. These plants are packed with growth hormones and enzymes because they grow so quickly. We are going to capture that energy. Chop up a handful of these plants and put them in a jar. Add an equal weight of brown sugar. So if you have 1 cup of chopped plants, add 1 cup of brown sugar. Mix it together, press it down, cover loosely, and let it ferment for 5 to 7 days. The sugar draws out the liquid from the plants and preserves all those beneficial compounds. After a week, strain out the plant material. You will have a dark, syrupy liquid that smells sweet and earthy. Dilute this 1 part to 20 parts water, and you can pour it on the soil or spray it directly on leaves. Plants respond almost immediately. Leaves green up, stems strengthen. It is remarkable to watch. The third liquid is compost tea, and this is the most powerful of all. If you have finished compost, the dark, crumbly stuff that smells like forest floor, you have everything you need. Fill a bucket with water and let it sit uncovered for 24 hours so any chlorine can evaporate. Chlorine kills the microbes we are trying to grow. Now fill a mesh bag or an old pillowcase with finished compost, about 2 cups worth. Suspend it in the bucket of water like a giant tea bag. Add a tablespoon of unsulfured molasses to feed the microbes. Here is the important part. You need to add AIR. An inexpensive aquarium bubbler works perfectly. Drop the air stone into the bucket and let it run for 24 hours. The bubbles keep oxygen flowing, which allows beneficial aerobic bacteria and fungi to multiply explosively. When the tea is ready, it will smell earthy and clean, never foul. If it smells bad, something went wrong and you should start over. Good compost tea should have a layer of foam on top. That foam tells you the microbes are thriving. Apply compost tea immediately after brewing. You can pour it directly on soil or spray it on leaves. It repopulates your garden with billions of beneficial microorganisms. These microbes produce a substance called Glomalin, a kind of natural glue that binds soil particles together, improving structure and water retention for years to come. Now let me give you a simple seasonal plan so you know when to use each one. In early spring, as the ground begins to warm, start with rice wash. Pour it on your beds to wake up the dormant microbes. A week later, follow with compost tea to repopulate the soil with fresh biology. Through the summer growing season, apply fermented plant juice every 2 weeks. This supports active growth and keeps plants strong and healthy. In autumn, after your harvest, apply compost tea again. It will help break down fallen leaves and garden debris, converting them into nutrients that will feed next year's plants. By the second year, you will notice your soil becoming softer. Earthworms will return. Water will soak in instead of pooling. Plants will grow stronger with less effort from you. The garden begins to take care of itself. This is what makes these liquids different from fertilizer. Fertilizers feed plants directly, but they ignore the microbes. Over time, Fertilizer salts actually harm soil biology. The more you use, the more you need. It becomes a cycle of dependency. These ancient liquids work the opposite way. They restore the invisible workforce that nature designed to process nutrients, detoxify harmful compounds, and build healthy soil structure. You are not feeding the plants. You are feeding the system that feeds the plants. And once that system is thriving, it sustains itself. If you are watching this and feeling overwhelmed, take a breath. You do not have to do everything at once. Start with one bed. Start with one plant. Make a jar of rice wash this week and pour it on your poorest patch of soil. See what happens. Gardening should not be a struggle. It should be a partnership. These liquids are your way of shaking hands with the soil and saying, "Let us work together." The ground beneath your feet wants to come alive again. It is waiting for someone to give it a chance. And now you know exactly how to do it. If this helped you see your garden differently, subscribe and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your soil is ready. The next step is yours.